All right, so here we are with a blank user interface. I have nothing in my UI at this time. Now, if you have orders in your system, that's totally fine, does not matter. We've set this up so that when you bring the order in the configs, it's going to be very specific to what we're working on. It's not going to impact any other orders or anything that you have built in your system already. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is open up a web browser and log into the Infinity Support portal. Now, if you've not done that, you can reach the portal at infdig.com/support. And if you don't have an account, go ahead and just follow the steps to log in and get one. Once you're logged in, you can just simply search for T-Train, T-T-R-A-I-N, and that is going to bring up this article for Infinity Product Template Training. Now, I'm not going to read through the whole article here. You can use this as a point of reference if you need to, but I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the steps that we need to do for getting this all set up so that you can follow along and perform the exact same steps that I do, and we'll work through this together. But if you do want this for a reference at a later point, you can come out here to the portal, find this article, and then this is the zip file that we're going to be working with that contains the orders and the configuration files that we need to make this work in our environment. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. I'll also minimize my UI, and I've already downloaded that file and placed it on my desktop. So that's a good thing that you can do as well. So the first thing we need to do is unzip this file. So I'm just going to unzip it onto my desktop. And we'll extract it to a new folder called T-Train. All right, so here we have our new folder. We will go ahead and open that up. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to take this folder, the 916-8534, and also this XML file here. We're going to grab both of those and we're going to copy them to the IDF share on your Infinity server. Now, in my case, the server name, we'll put that in, and then \IDF, and we'll hit enter. So you'll have some number of folders in your IDF share. It may not be exactly the same as mine, and that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and paste both of these in here. So there we have our order XML and we have our content folder. So now that we have that, the next thing that you need to do is right click on this XML file, and we're going to come up to edit with Notepad++. Now you're going to have to scroll quite a ways down, and it might actually be easier just to jump to the end of the file because we need to change these paths. Now you'll notice that the XML file just has, for the server name, it just says your server name. So what you can do is highlight that, and then if you're using Notepad++, you can press Control-H. And what that's going to do is it will bring up the search and replace dialog box, and it'll have your name already filled in for find what. So you just need to put your server name, and in my case I'll use mine. And once we have the server name in there, we're just going to go ahead and hit replace all. And then every one of those occurrences should now show up with your Infinity server name. So we'll go ahead and close this. Make sure that you save the file up at the top. Once that's saved, we'll close it. And we can also close the IDF share at this point. Well, actually, I take that back. Let's don't close the IDF share just yet. We may need that, so we'll set it off over here. Now, back in the folder, in my T-Train2 folder, where we extracted the zip file, we have this file called ttrainbookconfig.zip. Now, this is what's called it's an Infinity configuration zip file, and it's going to contain all of the product template files that we can simply drop into a very specific folder on the Infinity server, and it will put these template files in place for us. So this is a really handy process when you need to migrate configuration files from one environment to another. So we'll go ahead and copy this. And again, we need to browse out to our server. And we're going to go into the IDF share, which I could have went right over here since I have that window open, but just to go through the whole process. So we have our folder here. And you will notice that there is a file or a folder called config import. So if we open that up, we're going to go ahead and paste that zip file in here. And after a few seconds, we should see this zip file get consumed by the system, which it did. And then those templates for this product that we're going to work with have now been basically installed or set up within the system. Now the next thing that we need to do, which also is in this IDF folder, is we need to come back over here and we need to grab our order XML. So we'll copy that, come back to our IDF share, and you'll notice in the IDF share there's a folder called input. So we'll open up the input folder, paste that file in, and let's jump right back over to the UI for a second. And after a moment, we should see that file process and come into the UI. So we'll go ahead and give it just a few seconds here. We'll look and see. It's no longer in the input folder. Let's clear filters and see if we have any issues going on there. Come up here and select everything. All right, so maybe we have an option to do a little, or an opportunity, I should say. Oh, we do, to do a little troubleshooting. So let's see what we got. Oh, it looks like it did not take my server name change, because it still says your server name within the error. So let's go ahead and minimize this. That's all right. We'll come back over here to our file. Let's go back down to the bottom of the file, and sure enough, I either didn't save my changes or the system didn't save them. So we'll come down here again. We'll change your server name to my server name that I'm using. We'll do a replace all. You can see all the changes have been made there. We'll hit close, save my changes, close that, and just for safekeeping, let's open this back up one more time. Okay, now I can see that it's got my server name there. So let's try this one more time. We will copy that file, come up here to our input folder, paste that in, and we'll wait here for a second to make sure that this gets picked up. Pop back over to the UI, and here in just a moment we'll see this reprocess. And at this point, we should have a successful order within our system. So we'll wait for that to process through sort, and we have a good order. So at this point, we should now be synced up, and for the remainder of this training series, you should be able to perform the exact same steps that I am as we go through the rest of this series. So I think that's all we have for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.